recording. All right, so we're talking about AWS Config. It's a new feature that is added a couple of months back. What it does is it can record all the changes. So it kind of give you a snapshot of what has happened in your Amazon environment. So this is very good if you want to look at and see what has changed and what has happened and when it was happened and how many changes happened. And not only that, it can also give you some relationships between your systems and all your, if you take a network card, it will tell you, okay, that network card is attached to that instance. This instance belongs to this subnet. This subnet belongs to this VPC. All that relationship you can see, and it's very nice. I don't know how really it can be useful for each company, but from my perspective, I think it is a great tool where you could get some information. So basically you come here to the settings and you turn on recording. That's all you need to do. Once you do that, basically it will create a bucket, and you can see that I already have a config bucket configured here. So you cannot delete it, I already have turned it on. So I only have the option to turn off or turn on. So it is currently turned off because it puts a lot of information into your S3 bucket. I don't want to unnecessarily pay money, but in your company and all, you should definitely turn it on, and you should keep on recording the stuff. You need to do that. So this is the bucket. This is going to store all this information. You can also configure SNS to send you notifications. If the Amazon config finds some information, it can actually send you some information. It uses some role, role is permission. It uses that permission to do its required job. So basically that is all about config. So if you go here, I wanted to show you how you can see that, so these things, the rules and all, I really don't know what it is, but all I can show you is, let me see, I can find out resource type. Yeah. So here, let's go and turn on our recording first. So once you turn on recording, AWS config will start recording changes to your resource configuration. So any configuration changes, that is what actually it does. Okay. When I say changes getting recorded, any configuration changes, you removed a NIC card, you add a NIC card, you attached a volume, you deleted a volume, you created a subnet, you created a new routing table, anything you do in Amazon, it will be recording so that you can go back and see what has happened. So you can stop that recording anytime. So I'm going to start this recording. So it is currently taking an inventory. Hopefully we'll be able to see some stuff. Let's see what has happened. And it will store all that information. So let this finish taking that inventory. It's looking at all my environment currently and looking at what has changed. So remember, when you do this for the first time, it will start from that point of time. It does not know what has happened before. So your first snapshot is actually the base for AWS config, and from here on it will keep track of all the things that changed. Okay, so right now it is storing all this information in S3 bucket. So if you go to S3, you can see the cloud config bucket. Here it is, the config bucket, and this bucket is actually having all this information stored in there. We don't have much information, so it is December, that's the last one. So it is not started creating anything here. So config history, it will store all this information here, and you can go back and see that. So it has to create the new folder for, see, it hasn't created yet. Because we just turned on. So 2016, last year when I did my class 9, that is when I did this. After that, it was turned off. That's why you don't see the 2017. Anyway, that's fine. So let's go back to cloud config and look at the resources. So for example, you can actually type a resource here. We can find out. Let me see how I can show you something here. Resource type. Let's take, you can pick up something here. I'm going to just take this VPC here. And then I should see that actually. Okay, I think I can do that here. It's not showing anything here. Why is it not showing? So we wanted VPCs, so I think you have to do a lookup here. Okay, that's all you need to do. So let's do this VPC and then do a lookup. All right, you can see all these VPCs coming up here. These are the different VPCs we have. I don't know the name. Anybody remember what our VPC is? Okay, let's go back and check. Yeah, I know, but we cannot do our VPC. We have to look at class 9 VPC. So that way I can show you some changes. So class 9 VPC is D09. Okay. So I'm going to config and I'm going to the resources. I will do a resource type as VPC. Lookup 09. This is the VPC. So here is the thing. So you can see some status. See, there is nothing here actually. 9th February, there is nothing changed here. Unfortunately, this is the problem because I cannot show you anything from the past. So let me see. Is there a date option? Okay. So I'm going to put from November 1st to now. View details. So let me see, it will show you that image. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, hold on. Oh no. Config resources VPC 09. Okay, here it is. So I mean, I'm just showing. So this has all the recording, but you know that after December 18th, I think my last class got over in December 22nd or something before Christmas. I'm very sure. So December 22nd, I stopped the recording. December 22nd, I stopped the recording, and now I'm actually started getting some emails now coming from Cloud Config. I'll show you that. I have started getting some emails coming from config because config is already configured with the cloud config is configured with email. So you can see that getting some emails here. You can see that AWS config deleted in account. So I deleted some instance. So there is a lot of emails actually I came because I didn't turn on this. You see that I just got a lot of emails. What has happened in this environment? Not just VPC, the entire account. What has happened in my account? All that changes I'm getting mail. So this is another good way. You can see that so many things. EIP added. You can see that it is saying this is a more detailed thing, but it will also give you some information. I'm not worried about, or I'm not really bothered about seeing this email, but AWS config can send you emails, and it is still coming up. A lot of emails are still coming up. Anyway, what I wanted to show you here is you can see that on December 1st, this is what you need to understand. December 1st, they are saying there were 4 changes happened on this VPC at 1:25 a.m. And then at 9:33 p.m. on December 1st, there was one change. 9:30, 27, there was a change. And then on 10 o'clock, there was another change. And that is it. There is no other changes. They have it right now. So if I click on this December changes, if you click here, it says this change is saying there are some changes happened here. It says that there was a relationship change. There is some network card on some instance. This ENI, this is a network card, ENI A2 thing. That change has happened. And then if you look here, you can see some relationship. This is very interesting. So you can see that I have an instance. I had an instance. So if you click on that instance, you can see the relationship. So that instance, this is the change. There are 6 changes happen on that instance. This is an instance. I don't know what it was. It was an instance. And there were 6 changes happen on that instance. Source destination check. I changed that to true. Delete on termination, I made that thing to on. These are all configuration changes I am making. I made some changes. So you can see that on the network interface card, I made that change. So many changes. Whatever change you made, it will come in true. So basically, you can look at this and you can see what are the changes happened here. So that is the beauty of this particular thing. Let me go back here. So you can see that on December 30th I had 6 changes, and December 1st, this is just for this instance, okay? That instance I made so many changes on that day. So if you look here, you can see that the changes that I did, whatever the network interface card, I changed stop that instance. I initiated a whoever is the initiated a shutdown or power off of that instance and things like that. Now a relationship is very important. So you can see that this particular instance, we are talking about this particular instance. This is a good thing, so by looking at this instance, you want to quickly know, okay, what are the things? This instance, this belongs to which VPC? This belongs to which network card? What volumes are attached? You can see here. You can see that this network card is attached to that instance. This is the security groups attached to that instance. This is the subnet that instance belongs to. This is the volume that instance is attached to. And this is the VPC that instance is attached to. If you go to that VPC, then you can see the changes on the VPC. So if you go to the relationship of a VPC, the VPC will have a much more relationship. So you can see that this VPC had one network access control lit. Normally, it will only have one network access control. These are the network cards. These are the instances in that, and so on. So now let us go back. Let us go back to our VPC and take a look at it. Okay. Or you know what? Let's do a EC2 instance and look at our instance in our class. So anybody know what are these instances? These are the instance. This is definitely one of our instance. So let us go and find out an instance here first of all. Okay. One of our instance. It won't have any changes, but I'm just showing you. So let's take this external web server 61B. Okay. That instance I'm going to take. Let's see how the CloudTrail will look, Cloud Config will look into that. So I'm going to the resources. I'm selecting instances. You can select multiple things. It will show you all that, but I just want to know. So what was that instance name? Anybody remember? I forgot.
61B. 61B.
Yeah, 61B. So you click on that 61B. So you can see that we took the instance just now only. There is no other data. History is not there. We just started recording of that instance now. I'll show you some changes now. There is one event right now. Limited events available. It says there is nothing. It is event name. It is just currently stopped. That is what it says. The relationship. Look at that relationship of that instance. It says that instance have an elastic IP attached to it, which is correct. We know that we have an elastic IP attached to it. It says this is the network card attached to that. It says this is the security group attached to it. This is the subnet attached to it. This is the volume attached to it. This is the subnet attached to it. And you can see more details. You can see other things also. And it will also show you the VPC it is attached to. So you can see pretty much everything. You want to know the correct security group, or just click on that security group. That will take you straight to that security group. That security group has 12 events. You can see that these are the different instances that are running using that security group and things like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to this EC2 instance. I'm going to this instance, external web server. I'm going to make some small changes to this instance right now. I'm going to change the termination protection to enable. I just made that. And then I'm going to power on this instance. So I made 2 changes, correct? So let's see the cloud config, AWS cloud config will record those changes. So, in future, if you want to know, okay, what has happened to that server? Who did that change? When was that exact time it happened? And what was the change happened from last week to this week? That's a great thing, right? So if you can find that information, that will be a great setting. I got like almost 500 emails now from this cloud config. Let me delete all that because all the changes that we did in this class after my last class is recorded there. So it is recording all that messages. All right, that's fine.
Is this feature free?
This is all free, yeah. This is a free feature, yeah.
But
Amazon wanted
it only costs on the S3, right?
yes, that is what the Amazon, see, don't think in that way. Yes, Amazon definitely makes some money when you store this data in S3, no doubt about it. But, it is your need. I don't care about spending $1 or $2 for storing this information in S3, whereas, I am getting some excellent capabilities here, right? Because,
One question I have.
yeah.
Okay, so it's better to use this than a, like a Cloud Trail.
CloudTrail can, CloudTrail is good enough. You can pretty much find everything in CloudTrail, but Cloud Config will give you a little bit more detailed relationships and things like that. That's it. It's pretty much same, but they're just adding that feature. So I think the future, what they are doing is, in VMware, guys, you guys know in VMware, you can take a snapshot, correct? And then you do some changes and something went wrong. What do you do?
चाहिए अरे यार मैं काम करने दो.
Okay, Kashif, you have to mute, okay? So in VMware, if you have a VM, you took a snapshot of that VM and then you started making some changes and something went wrong. What do you do? Anybody? What do you do in that case?
To the original one.
No, there's a terminology for that. That is what I want to know.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really Kashif. There are other 20 plus people in this class, and it's surprising that nobody is answering. I don't know what, as the class gets more and more, nobody answers. That's fine, but I'm just asking, guys, in VMware, I know there are many of you guys know VMware. In VMware, you take a snapshot and you made some changes, and you see that the changes you made has some issues. So what do? You revert back.
You revert it back to the.
You're reverting it back to the old change. So the plan, I think Amazon is with this config is they haven't implemented that capability yet. But if you see that somebody has changed or something went wrong with EC2 config, you should be able to go back to that original stage. That is what I think they are looking at. You can go back to that original stage. So let's now look at our instance, whether any changes happen. So it hasn't come yet. It hasn't refreshed yet. So we have to wait for some more time. We just changed that instance. So it is here. The name is here, external web server 001. So we have to wait for a little bit more time. I would just give it a few more minutes for that change to happen. So let's just come back. So this is what actually I know from config. I don't think I never taught this thing in my last, maybe I think I might have mentioned this in last class. So this is what is cloud config is do. It's not too much things there, it's basically can record the settings. It stores all the information in S3 bucket. You can configure a notification for that. So anytime it finds any configuration change happens, it can send notification. Now, the difference between CloudTrail and this is AWS config is continuously monitoring your entire account. Whether you have 5 VPCs and 200 subnets and 5,000 instances, it is continuously monitoring your entire account. So it is definitely dumping a lot of data into S3. But anything changes, it will immediately send you a notification. In the case of CloudTrail, it will record all the changes, but it is not going to send you any alert or notification until you configure that using what?
CloudWatch.
Using CloudWatch. You configure individually. Yesterday we went and configured a filter. You configured a filter for instance start, instance stop, and things like that. But if you are somebody detaching a network card, when you detach a network card, there will be a corresponding event. So you need to configure that event in CloudWatch if you want to get a notification. If you don't want to get notification, you have to go to CloudWatch and then search CloudTrail and then search for that. But Cloud Config can immediately send you a notification that that change has happened. That is the beauty of it. So let's go back here and let's try one more time and see whether the change has come. All right, here you go. Have you seen any changes now? And I already got an email now. Actually, I just got an email from Cloud Config saying that there is a change happened. I'll show you that. On my phone it comes faster. Okay, it hasn't come yet. Okay, I didn't get the email yet. My phone got that email, but Outlook is slow. Okay, here it is. So here it is. It says, updated account, instance, this particular instance update, something has happened. Now, what has happened and all, maybe you can find out from here. By looking at this, you could find out these are all the settings, what subnet it is, what resource ID it is, what volume it is, all the information about, see its private IP address, its public IP address, its subnet, everything is in that, about that instance. So I think, let's say we made two changes. Anybody remember what are the two changes we made? It says total 4 changes, I think. Yeah, so let's click on this change and see what are the changes we made here. Okay, what are the changes we made? CloudTrail events. So we started the instance, and then there is modify instance attribute. We made some changes on the instance attribute. So you can find out that actually, I think if you click on these events and you go here, you will be able to find out that changes. Why is it not showing? Okay, here is the changes. 4 changes. Okay, changes. It should show that changes here, but it is not showing the details. Okay, hold on. Let me see. It's saying you go to the CloudTrail to find out that instance change. So it is taking me straight to that CloudTrail, modify instance change, but again it is not showing that exact change. So you can see here, okay, here it is, the event. So you click on this event, it will tell you that what I made. Can anybody tell me from here what I made the change?
Termination, disable termination.
Correct. So now you know exactly what change you made, correct? So I can find out that somebody, or who it has the complete information. So you got to understand that Amazon has now the capability to basically record and store every change, everything. So if you are in company, you have to be careful. Okay, if you are making some changes, you cannot hide that. Everything is instantaneously recorded at some place. That is how companies are doing nowadays, because hacking and all these, ransomware and a lot of problems are there, and security is the biggest concern. So, and security products are selling like a hot cake nowadays in the market. So
yeah, this
everybody.
is very good. Like at my work we had this issue sometime. Somebody made changes last night and we couldn't figure out who did it, what happened.
Yeah.
So this is really good. I mean, we can figure out what's going on.
This is exactly, so this can even, you don't even have to worry too much. You don't have to search too much or anything. You can basically go back to your cloud config, pick that particular instance and just pick your instance, what change, or I mean, you get notification and you just pick your instance and immediately it says there are changes happen on this box and there is events related to that box. Now, what I wanted to tell you here is, let's say these 4 changes happen and you don't want that change. You want to go back to this stage, correct? The previous good stage, 9th February, 9:10:54 p.m. The change happened at 9:27. Instead of going and finding each of this change and reverting back one by one, if there is an option here, if I click on here and say go back to that change, isn't it a great thing? Just with the click of a button, all the changes what we made here will be wiped off and the machine will go back to the original stage. That is what I said, reverting back a snapshot. Now, is that capability there now? Right now, Amazon do not have that capability. I had some detailed discussion with Amazon account manager about this feature because I think it is a great feature, but they are actively working on it. I think their end goal is to bring that capability to this. I'm sure it will happen in the next 6-7 months. You will see that, Cloud Config, you can revert back to your previous changes. Okay. Is that clear? Everybody has any questions? So you can find out everything and you can see the relationship now. If you look at this relationship, you can see that this machine has this elastic IP address. This has this IP address. So if I click on that, it will take me straight to that elastic IP address. It is taking me to the elastic IP, which is attached to that instance. Yeah, Devinder, what's your question? Okay.
The question is the information. I mean, throughout this Amazon Web Services infrastructure, we're noticing whatever you're seeing, either VPC name or instance name, they all come to you on the screen with this technical, the long names, the instance name that you can recognize. Is there any possibility to actually get all the information from the tag that?
Correct. That is what the whole purpose of tagging. That is why I was telling from day one onwards, if you create a network card, if you create a volume, if you create an instance, if you create anything, add as much as tags. So you can actually search and find out using the tags. Tags are very, very powerful. So there is actually a setting called services, resource groups. This is a new feature that again they added. I didn't talk about this, but I will just talk about that. So you can create this resource group. This is actually a Microsoft Azure concept, resource groups. Amazon added this feature around, I think this is also a feature that came up like 3 months or 4 months old feature, resource groups. So basically what it is, it works with the tag editor. So you can create a resource group here. Let's call it as, class 10 or resource group. And then you can tag it, you can say, you can create your service account, you can specify your tag key, you can specify the regions, different regions. So, can you see all the instances in all the regions in one view? You cannot, correct? But with resource group, you can actually attach resources from different regions and different subnets, different VMs. You can put, a class 10. Class 10 has, let's say class 10, our class, we are creating 3 VPCs. And you have 5 VMs in each of these VPCs. Each of these VPCs belongs to 3 different regions. You want to take a look at all your resources in one single pane of glass. A resource group can help you do that. It is basically help you to collect and show all your resources in one single pane of glass. So you create a group and then we put all those things into that group, and that is done through tagging. Okay, so a resource group is a collection of resources that share one or more tags. So you tag all the things. So every device you create, every VPC you create, every instance you create, every network card you create, you can create up to 10 tags per instance. You create a tag called class 10. You can say environment class 10. So you create a network card, you put a tag called environment equal to class 10. You create an instance, you create a tag called environment is equal to class 10. You create an IP address, you create an environment is equal to class 10. Whether it is in Australia or whether it is in Ohio or whether it is in Virginia, it doesn't matter. As long as that tag is there and you can sort them with the tag and they will all come up here. So then you can manage them in a single window. That is what is resource group. There is nothing much here. We don't have a proper tagging right now, so I'm not going to do that. But you can actually see, you can see all these tags and things. These are not tags. There is no tags they're saying actually. You can see all these things, external web server, and then preview. It will probably show you. See, you can see that. You can see all these things, whether it belongs to another environment or whether it belongs to different regions. You can see all these things. It's not only EC2. You can see Elastic, MapReduce clusters, Elastic Cache, Beanstalk, Glacier, Kinesis. These are all programmatic stuff, but you can see everything in this one window. See, I just put app servers. I'm just tagging. It's not tagging, but I could actually put, a different tag actually. I should have done that, but there is nothing called environment. See, these are all the tags or whatever is available. Yeah, we don't have any tagging. Otherwise, you can do that. You understand what I'm saying, right? So play around with it. This is just nothing to learn. It is just a collection of groups. Use them below to define. You can just group them together and you can see them here. That is the only way to do it, Devinder. You have to use tagging. Okay. So that's called resource groups. So you can see that class 9 resource group. I just created something here last time. I don't know, is there anything is there? There is nothing here. We deleted all the instances, everything. Otherwise, you would have seen all the things. You can see that, you can see the instance ID, you can see the regions, so it doesn't matter whether it is in Virginia or whether it is in Australia. You will be able to see all your instances and their details in one single pane of glass. This was a problem that everybody was complaining to Amazon, because if I want to see my Oregon instances, then I have to go to Oregon. If I click on EC2, I see all the instances. Correct. I can see all the instances, but these instances are all belongs to Virginia. I may have 5 instances in Oregon. Can I see them here? I have to go there. When I go there, can I see these? No. So you want to see all your instances, all your things in one single pane of glass. You need to use resource groups. Okay.
My question. It's the same category, but a little different. Like the email you got from AWS Config, right? That there was a change. Now in that email, in the subject, we don't have a tag. We have that technical AWS name of the instance, but not a tag. So I kind of have to go back and search for my instance and see which one.
So these are cultural changes that everybody has to go through. You are working in a much more smaller environment, I know, but in my environment we have thousands of servers. We have our way of doing things, and when we're moving to cloud, we have bigger challenges. And it is, I would say, it is more of a cultural change. So we have to get used to that type of changes. There is no other things. But I understand your concern. Okay, how do I remember all these things, all these instance ID? I don't think we need to remember any instance IDs, but tagging is very important. That is the only thing that can help you out. So anytime you create an instance or something, you got to tag it. I just see an alert here. You might have also got that alert. It says that they had some network connectivity issues in US West region today. So they have some problem at February 7th, 8:27 p.m. They had an outage or some issue they are facing currently in 5:28 p.m. Pacific time, or 6:15. That is our time. We are continuing to investigate network issues for instances and failures and new launch instance and single availability zone. You see this problem? There is a connection problem or some network issues in one availability zone, in a single availability zone. So if you have all your web servers in one availability zone, what happens to that website now? If your company is having a website and they are all in one availability zone, so at this point, let's say if they are in US West and they are in that particular affected availability zone, your company's site is down. So what you should do in order to avoid that?
Multiple available
You
zones.
should have put it in multiple availability zones and load balanced it. Then your company would have. So that is why Amazon always recommends you should put your servers in multiple availability zones. Now that requires always 2 instances per application per service. May not be practical all the time. Even in my current production environment, we have a lot of servers that are single point failures. That means, certain database servers, certain application servers, they are only in one availability zone. If that availability zone is having a problem, those services are not going to work. But, we have determined what is important and what is not, or we have categorized them in different levels. Based on that, we made the decision. Okay, does it really make sense to put 2 servers in 2 availability zones and pay for that? And remember, it's not just the payment for 2 instances. If I want to put 2 SQL servers in 2 different availability zones, now I'm talking about 2 additional licenses, correct? So that is where your biggest cost is going to come. If your application, if you're using IBM WebSphere or WebLogic or JBoss or some kind of application, you need to have licenses. So you're going to pay double money there. So so it is an individual or a company's decision how they want to put it, but you got to keep in mind that these kind of issues can happen. Okay. So that is basically cloud config, guys. I know only that much. There is something called rules. You can actually create some rules. I will just quickly show you that I was playing around with it. You can create, there are some custom rules. So this is actually add rules to define and decide configuration setting to your AWS customization. So you can actually, there are some pre-configured things already there. I don't know, these are all for Redshift and S3 bucket version. I think there is something I could probably show you. Check with EC to manage in a desired configuration. So this is probably a good one. You could actually use that to check whether any instances in your environment has any particular changes. I have never really worked on that much, so I'm not very sure what it is. So you can actually configure. This is more done through Lambda functions and all. So I'm not sure what exactly is the problem. Okay, I mean, what exactly you need to do on this, you may want to look at. This rules take advantage of the AWS config. So here it is, there is something I created as S3 bucket versioning enable. I don't know what I did here. So I think it is something that I did in order to see different versioning. So every time a version change happened, it is logging that information. So you can probably see that, okay, did that version changed or things like that. I'm not very familiar. I never used it and we're not using it in production, but you could actually do that. So I'm just going to turn off. I don't want to continue with this. Muthu, can you hear me now? I think it may be your problem, okay? I think everybody else can hear me well, right? Guys, can you hear me? Muthu is saying that
Yes,
he's
sir.
losing my...
Yes.
All right, okay, good. All right, so now I just wanted to talk about this quickly, but I wanted to get on to one important topic, which is called cloud formation. AWS Cloud Formation allows you to quickly and easily deploy your infrastructure, resources, and applications on AWS. You can use one of the templates we provide. So it's basically you can, again, I'm not a big expert on it, but I will definitely show you how to do that. There is some designing templates and all. I never tried this, but I'll show you a couple of things. But cloud formation, I would say, is very important. If you are a little bit good in scripting and all, you could actually do, especially if you're good in Chef, not Chef, JSON, you can actually do cloud formation things. So you can create, basically, you can create stacks, something called as create a stack. You can create cloud formation templates, and then you can use that to deploy. So it will be just a file which contains all the scripts, and then you just run that script. It is going to do everything for you. Basically, that is what is cloud formation means. So you can create cloud formation templates, and then you can create that. So let us go and create a cloud formation stack. I just want to show you something here. Create a new stack. So basically, there is a lot of samples there. I'm going to use one of the sample. If you have your own thing, you can actually select these stacks. You can also cloud formation template. Let me show you. I think I have a cloud formation template here. Let me show you that. Hold on. Okay. This is an important topic, okay? So cloud formation. All right.
Can we create one? That would be good.
Yeah. We're going to do that. I'm going to show you something here. Now, by looking at it, don't get scared or anything. There is nothing rocket science here. This is very interesting topic. Okay. This is actually a cloud formation template. I'll show you in a minute. Just wanted to delete a couple of information before I do this. If you want to create such a environment, how much time it will take? Just imagine you want to create around 18 security groups, and you have to tag it, you have to name it, you need to configure the outgoing ports, you need to configure the incoming ports, you need to configure many things to create security. I'm talking about a simple security group itself. How much time it will take? If you want to create 15, 20 of them and then you want to appropriately put it there, it will take probably 2-3 hours, right? At least 2 hours maybe, correct? But if I can have that file, I can do that entire thing in less than 2 minutes. That is the power of cloud formation. Or think in this way. I want to create a VPC. Inside that VPC, I want to create a couple of subnets. Then inside that subnets, I need to create some instances. And then I need to put some security groups to that instances. I want to configure a VPN. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this. I want to do many things. Okay, let's say, I wanted to do like 15 things. It will be probably how much time it will take? Maybe a day, correct? Maybe 4 hours or 5 hours. But if you have a cloud formation template with all that settings, the entire thing will be done in 5 minutes. And this is what is used in large environments. For example, a friend of mine is actually working for Intuit. Intuit is the company that, makes TurboTax. And he is leading a big team of developers. And these developers create custom applications for their different customers. So each of the developer will get an entire environment just like their customer's environment. Probably it will be a VPC with so many things. So when the developer comes in the morning, he just run this cloud formation template. That cloud formation template will create that entire environment for him. Not only just the VPC, the subnets, the instances, all the things that he needs will be created in 5 minutes. And then the developer can start working on that for next 2 weeks. And once he's done, he will just delete the stack. When he delete the stack, the entire things that stack created will go away. But when you create something using Cloud Formation templates, you are not supposed to make any manual changes. If you want to make any changes, you can always go and update your Cloud Formation template and then do the change, because any manual change that you do will not be wiped off when you remove that Cloud Formation template. So it is advisable not to make any manual changes after creating something using Cloud Formation. Always do it through Cloud Formation. Now, we've been learning all these things. I know you guys are all learning. You know how to, I think pretty much all of you now know how to create a VPC, how to create subnets. But now we are getting into a little more advanced stage where, can I automate all that things? Isn't it? So that is what we're going to look at it. So it is, it can be stored as a .template file. So what I want to show you is I wanted to go to Amazon. Let's go to Google and type AWS Cloud Formation. See, when I type itself, the first thing came up is that Cloud Formation template examples. All right, so AWS Cloud Formation template. So here you go. There is a lot of templates are available here. We will go and sample templates by AWS services. So there are so many templates are available for auto scaling, auto config, DynamoDB, Elastic Beanstalk. There are so many things. Let us go and find out something very simple for now, and then we will do maybe a little more complicated one. Let's see. These are all pre-configured thing. Okay. Now, once you know how to write JSON scripts and all, you could do this by yourself. All right, so let me do a simple thing here. I will do something from IAM. Okay, let's take this thing, AWS Identity and Access Manager. This is a sample. These are all sample templates. This particular template is going to create multiple IAM users and multiple IAM groups with different policies. Okay. So Kashif, actually JSON and all, actually, DevOps class Sharath is taking, that is what I told you, right? The next class you want to learn more automation and all is you go to learn DevOps and all. Sharath's class is actually covering those topics. Okay. So if you go to solvinsys.com, I think I showed you that, you go here. We're starting a new application, but let me see whether that is there. It is not here, but this course is just changing a little bit. So this is where the DevOps thing, version controlling, all these version controlling, is teaching Puppet, Chef, Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, all that things. And in this one, I believe he's covering JSON also. Okay. All right, so let's go and look at this template. So if you click on this, open a new window, we'll see how that template. See, look at that that template. Now, can you write this? You need to definitely learn JSON. But once you know JSON, JSON is very simple. It's a plain, it's much more even easier than an XML file. So it's basically, AWS template version, it says the description, AWS Cloud Formation sample template. So sample template showing how to create IAM uses, groups and policies. So what it does is it creates a single user that is a member of a users group and an admin group. Each user, each group are given different. Now it is doing this example is also creates AWS. It also creates a access key and a secret key, and it will also create a key pair for that. For that example, somehow control that creates all of the users groups. Typically, you would be creating policies. So it do quite a lot of things here. not quite a lot. Everything is explained really there. We'll see that. And then it will give a new password for the users. It is creating the user profile. It's creating the IAM group, user to group addition. It is adding the group. It is creating the users group. This is actually the policy it is creating. All these things. Now, it is creating the access key and the key pair and all that. So this is actually that. This is the script. This much will do everything. Earlier I showed you a sample is from that my friend's company, that was creating around 25 plus security groups. This is a sample one that creates a couple of users and all. Let's go and see how this will work. So basically you go here and you can say launch stack. When you create a launch stack, basically what it is doing is it is going to why is it doing that? I'm on, this is IE, right? Haha, that's the problem. That is the problem. So let me take this here because it's a two different browsers. So I have to go here and do this so that we will automatically get redirected. So I'll come down here. Are you guys following me, everybody? So I'm going to say launch stack.
Yes.
So it's basically launching that stack. So you can see that Amazon has, so this template file, it is a template file. See here, you can see that the policy template, that's the thing, dot template. This is a template that Amazon is actually stored in where? It is stored in S3. It is in S3. They stored it in S3. So normally everybody should store their scripts in S3. You can store it in S3 or you can store it in your computer. If I can download this file, so for example, the other template that I want to select, if I want to do that, I can actually go here to the desktop, AWS Cloud Formation, things. I can actually pick that security groups template. This is that template. I just attached it and click next, and I can do that from here, right from here. It will do all the things, but I'm not going to do that. That is an old template. It may not work. So that is not the thing we want to do. We wanted to.
One question. I'm sorry. I see it's changed to Oregon, so that's fine, or?
That template was the thing. That is the reason. Maybe they are configured it in Oregon. Let's see. This, when I do this thing, it won't change. It is not going to Oregon. So this is Oregon. It's showing. Maybe the template is there, but we are creating a user. Okay. We are creating a user here, so it is global. It doesn't matter. So this is our cloud formation template. Okay. We are good there. Now you click next. You give it a name. They are giving it a name: stack, IAM group, and policy sample. That's fine. So it's asking a password. This is a password for, in the script, I think I showed you that script earlier. In the script, it is asking you need to give a password for your user, because it is creating a user. So in the script, you can ask for certain parameters. If you want to give an IP address, you can configure it as a parameter. If you want to give a password, you can configure that as a parameter. If you want to specify a particular VPC, you can configure it as a parameter. That means they are not hard coding that value. It is asking the user who is deploying to give that thing. So I'm going to give the password as welcome33 for now. Click next. It is asking you want to give any tags or things like that. I'm not going to do any tags. You want to give any IAM roles or something, you can do that. So these are some settings. You don't need to, this is notifications and all. You don't want to do any of these things. Click next. So here it is clearly saying what is this template going to do. This is the template location. This is AWS Cloud Formation sample template IAM _ users _ groups _ policies. That's the name of the template. This sample template is showing how to create IAM users, groups, and policies. It creates, so what is it going to do? It creates a single user that is a member of a users group and an admin group. So it's going to create a user who is a member of an administrators group and a users group. The groups each have different IAM policies. So each group has different policies, and you know how to attach a policy to a group. If you are a users group, you get some policies. If you are administrator, you get another policy. This example also creates an AWS access key ID and access secret key pair associated with the new user. So the new user not only getting the password, he will also get a access key and a secret key. The example is somehow contrived since it treats all of the users. Typically, you would be creating policies and things like that. Not that all you need is to specify the capability of flag when you create a stack. So this is it. Basically, it's going to do it. Let us go and think. You say, I'm acknowledging that. And then you say, create. And look at what happens. So now, if you go here to your cloud formation stacks, you have to refresh it. You can see that it is creating in progress. It is actually doing that. So when you click on that, you will be able to see it is doing what it is. So you can see the things it is doing. A lot of things it is creating in progress. You can see that it is doing. It's automated. So if you want to see the outputs, it is nothing has come up so far. This is very interesting. Okay, you're going to see this very powerful. So I'm actually going to refresh this. Where is this? You can refresh this. Okay, so if you click on this here, you can actually see the outputs. It has not created anything so far. It is doing, okay, it is create complete. It is done. It is created a group called CFN admin group. It created a policy called CFN admin policy. It created a user called CFN user, CFN user group, CFN admin group. This is what we wanted, right? This is the policy for the user policy. This is the policy for admin policy. It created all these things here. So the outputs, you can see that it also created an access key and a secret key. The resources, you can see that these are the things that created. You can see the events, what has happened. So you can see that, the template is still working on it. It done everything, and once you refresh it, I'm sure it will all be saying completed. It created all these things. You want to see the real template, you can see the template right here. You want to see the parameters, it asks you to give a parameter, which is the password for that user. It is actually here. If you've given any stack, you can see any stack policies, change sets, these are nothing, but this is the main thing. You see the outputs. What are the outputs? What are the resources it created? Events it created, the actual template, all these things here. Now let's go and see, did it create those things? So where do I go to see that things? Where should I go to see all these things?
Under groups or users.
IAM.
You have to go to IAM, correct? That is where you see.
Yeah, go to IAM, that's right. And then
go to the IAM, and let's click on the users and see whether you're seeing a new user. Are you seeing a user that it created? See here, IAM, here, CFN user. Okay. Go and see the two groups. Did it create any new groups? It created a group. We didn't create these groups, right? We created these groups, and if you open these groups and you can see the member, you can see that the user is a membership. You can see the policy that is attached to it. You can see that CFN admin policy. What is that policy? Cloud formation, something, it created a policy. If you go to that user, this is the user. And if you go to the security credit, you can see that the two policies that are attached to the users, it is coming from the group. You can see the credentials. You can see the user has an access key and a secret key is created. How is it? Is it great? I think this is a great tool, and that is what it is. So if you want to make any changes now to this particular template, you wanted to add a new thing or something, you basically have to download that template, okay, and then make changes to that template, and then you can come here and there is always an option to update the stack. So if you want to make any changes, don't delete that user. If you want to attach a new policy to that user, let's say you want to attach a new policy to that user, or you want to add that user to a new group, don't go straight away and do that. Oh, okay, I know how to add it. I will just create a new group and do that. Now you're doing something manually outside of the stack. What happens is when you delete the stack, those things will remain there and it will create, all kind of stale objects in your environment. So it is recommended, if you're using templates, then do the changes using the template. But you can always update your stack with the templates. You understanding? So now I'm going to delete this stack. I'm done with this stack. I'm going to delete this stack. Are you sure you want to delete stack? IAM user group, and I'm going to say yes. So now look at what is happening. So now if you look at the events, you can see that it is deletion in progress. It is going to delete all the things what we created. It is just a matter of 2 minutes. It will be done now. Let's go and see the stacks. Where is it? I think it's deleted already. There's nothing here. Yeah, we deleted that stack. It's gone. So let's go and create a new stack. Okay, it is here actually. So that stack is still working here. It is create delete completed. So if you refresh it, you can see that it is deleted. It's gone. There is only one stack. It was gone. So I think you can see the deleted stack here, or you can see all the stacks. If you go here, you can see the deleted stack. These are the deleted stacks I did from my previous example. So VPC basic sample. So I'll show you how to create a VPC stack now. Okay, let's go and do that. Let's pick another one. All right, here it is, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. So what I'm going to do is,
देखो पर्चा
okay, here it is. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to use creates an Amazon EC2 instance with multiple dynamic IP addresses in a VPC. So basically this script, I don't know if this work or not, we'll try it out. Sometimes it looks for default VPC and also, but this script, this stack is going to do a couple of things. It is going to create a VPC. Inside the VPC, it is going to create a subnet. Inside that, it's going to create security groups, and then it is going to create an instance, and then going to attach that instance with multiple dynamic IP addresses. So it is going to do quite some things in this. So if you really want to see that script, this is that script. So you can see that the script looks a little complicated here, but it is very simple, because when you want to create an instance, so it is saying, what is the key pair you want to attach to your instance. You need to specify that. Then, there are different instance type. So when you deploy it, it will ask you what type of instance you want. So you need to specify all the instances you want. Then you are specifying the IP addresses. These are the different instance types, different methods of instance types. These are the regions. You need to specify all that. You don't need to never change this. If you have a sample script, you can always modify this basically. I'm sure if I get this thing and if I can spend half an hour or 1 hour, I can change the script the way I wanted to make it deployed in Australia or in India, or with an R2 image or whatever. All I need is just specify these things what I want here, and then I'm attaching the elastic IP addresses, security groups, deploying the instances, attaching the network cards here, all that things. It is doing the public IP. This is that script that is doing all these things. So this script is actually going to create quite a lot of things. So let us go and try to run this stack and see what happens. So this is the template. It is actually in S3. So you do that, you click next, and there will be some parameters. It is asking some parameters. Like the script don't know whether I need a T2 instance or T2 large or anything. So I have this option. So why am I seeing all these options? Can anybody tell me? I'm able to see all these options here. Where
they
is
were
it
defined in the script, right?
Correct. It was defined in the script. If you only wanted 3 or 4, you can only put that. So I wanted actually a T2 micro. You want to put any key pair, AWS DC. I wanted to use it. Is asking what key pair you want to use it. So I think the problem is
Your region is a problem, right?
yeah, my region is a problem. So I wanted to change to my different region. I think it's not going to work. Okay, it's working now. That's good. It's in Virginia. Okay, this will work. So let's do that, because I think the script they have mentioned that it's not going. Okay.
The script has a S3 left.
No, I think it did. Okay, so T2 micro, so key pair, we wanted to have a class 10 key pair. T2 small, I wanted to use a T2 micro. Secondary IP address count, SSH, your input, what is your IP address you want to connect. You want to specify any subnet IDs or something. I think it is asking to create the subnet ID. So we need to class 10. Where is our, anybody remember our class 10 subnets? I think this is class 10,
10
right?
dot 10 dot
10 dot, yeah,
Yeah,
10 dot is
10.2,
yeah, 10 dot.
10.2,
Yeah,
perfect.
so let's take that, and this is our VPC. We need to select our class 10 VPC. Click next, give it a tag if you want, IAM roles if you want to attach it. Do that. So it is basically going, so this is going to create a template, multiple instances, how to create instance with a single network interface. It is going to do something. It's going to deploy an instance, and you can estimate the cost here. Basically, it will take you and show you how much it will cost you to do that. So it is going to cost me $8.78. It is going to deploy one instance, 24 Linux T2 micro. That is what it is going to deploy. So it's giving me some rating option here. I can find out all these things are done, and then you say click create. Basically, that is it. So you do that and go back to your cloud formation stacks. Where is it? I think we are going to. All right, I don't know. I'm just getting. Let's go here. You'll see that stack now. So you can see that now that stack is in progress. So if you look at the events, you can see that it is creating an elastic IP address. It is creating security groups. It's all API calls basically. These are all API calls. And now if you go to Cloud Config, you will see a lot of changes happen in our environment. We'll see that now we stopped it, so we won't be able to get that. Remember, I stopped the recording. So it is doing that. You refresh it, you can see that things are getting created, more and more things. It is doing that. If it fails, now that is a very important thing. If your script has any problem, anything fails, what happens is it will roll back. The entire change will be rolled back. It is something very similar to an MSI installation. Anything goes wrong, the installation will roll back. All the changes it made will be wiped off. But there are options in the script. You can say even if there is an error happens for creating a particular thing, you can say continue. It's all about how you do the scripting. How do you do that cloud formation script? Guys, are you guys following this? So you should try to do this. We got to give it a time. So just imagine it is doing a lot of things. So if you go back here now, I'm sure you will be seeing that it is deploying an instance now mostly. So you will be seeing that it is deploying an instance. So it is, see, my instance, that is the thing. It is just creating that instance now, a T2 micro Linux instance. It is actually creating an instance. It is attaching the IP address. You can see that it is 2 IP addresses, right? It created 2 IP addresses. It is attaching some security groups there, and this is the security group that allows, inbound traffic SSH to 000. Remember that script had all that things, correct? So it is doing that. It is not finished yet. It is just to do a lot more stuff. So it is probably doing that. Okay, it is create complete. So now if you look at the script and look at the outputs, what it created. Okay, it created a IP address, first IP address. It creates an instance. It creates the second IP address, the primary IP address, all that things it created. The resources, these are the things that it created. You can see this particular stack created all this information. And the events, all that things it did, this is all create in progress, and all it will all become success later. And you can see the actual template. This is the actual script. How is it? So you can actually modify your thing. So you can actually go here and you can actually see your active scripts. You can see any failed ones. If anything is going completed scripts, you can see that. Active scripts, you can see that. Anything is going in progress, you can see that there. anything that is failed, if any scripts are failed, you will see them there. If you have deleted some stacks, you can see that all the stacks that I deleted in the past from different classes, you can see all of them are here. You can see, you can always go back and see. These are all the test ones I might have done in different classes. But I hope you guys are all understanding what we are talking right now. Correct? This is
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you delete a stack, it's not going to delete the resources, right? You're just deleting a template.
No, it is deleting the complete resources. Let us find out that. So right now, this stack is deployed. This stack is actually created an instance called my instance. So this is a resource, correct? It just created that instance. It also created this IP addresses. It created security groups. Let's go and look at this security group. Just keep and make a note of it, somebody. 73EF is the security group, okay? And the instance is 750, okay? I'm going to the CloudFormation template, and I'm going to delete this stack right now. I'm done with it. I think I'm done. I'm going to say delete stack. And I'm going to delete this stack. So the deletion is in progress. So now if you go here, you can see that it is deleting that instance, terminating that instance. Look at here. Is it terminating?
Yeah, it's dangerous. When you
It is dangerous. It is dangerous means, yeah, you have to be very careful with this. You have to be very careful with this, because if somebody, that is why, who can do, it is a policy. It is again a policy, who can do CloudFormation templates, who can access CloudFormation template. These are things, when you create a user, you got to be very careful with that. You know, what can he do? Can he do CloudFormation related work? If you have somebody who don't know anything and he go and click on that thing and he delete the CloudFormation, maybe your entire company will be wiped off. Yes.
But they should ask like 3 times this question, you know, you're deleting a stack, you're deleting these resources, are you sure? I mean, it's not right.
I mean, they're asking a one-time confirmation, but you know, if you don't know, I mean, if you know how dangerous it is. So a person who don't know, in fact, believe me, I have done my own mistake. I have deleted some stack in my work accidentally. When I was cleaning up some stuff, I accidentally deleted a stack where I lost my entire thing. But the good thing is, if I have the template, you know, in my case, I will have my templates with me, correct? So if I have my templates, I can deploy it back. But again, yeah, it is going to make a lot of issues in your in your environment. You know, the servers are lost, the data is gone, things like that.
So the question is, when you see the deleted template.
Yeah, 1 minute, Kashif. So one of my approach is, you don't want to put everything into one stack. You want to do things in multiple stacks. Creating a VPC should be one stack. Creating an instance should be another stack. Attaching IP address should be another stack. So in that case, if you try to delete a stack of VPC, it will not delete that VPC, because it says, hey, I cannot do that because I have my instances there. You getting what I'm saying? So
can you protect a VPC from getting deleted by deleting a stack?
No, if it is created, if the VPC is created by a stack, then that stack can delete it. The stack is not going to delete any other VPCs. It is only going to delete what it created.
I understand that, but it's not good. This is a security hole. This is not good.
I don't know. That is something you can talk to Amazon, but I don't know it is a security hole. What do you think it's a security hole? We use, in my office, we have so many, I would say at least around 15 to 20 CloudFormation stacks we are using for different purposes. But, you know, you got to understand one more thing. This is where the jobs are going. You know, in my office, a lot of people have concerns. You know, my colleagues, my networking guys, my storage guys, my firewall guys, they are all actually scared. Okay, hey, you know what? This guy and that guy is doing all the cloud work. And we already started talking about moving our workloads. We are talking about getting rid of our 2 data centers right now. So if that data center is gone, then there is no need of a networking guy. Then there is no need of a storage guy. People are getting kind of little uneasy there. I can see that things are slowly moving out from their hands. And once you go there in the Amazon environment, you don't need five networking guys and 10 storage guys. You only need one Devinder who can do pretty much everything there. He is the storage guy, he is the networking guy, he is the security guy, he is the cloud administrator. So you see that this course, we are not learning just one thing. You're touching networking, you're touching scripting, you're touching storage, you're learning Windows, you're learning firewalls, everything, isn't it?
Too much power in one one person's mind. This is it is right. Yeah.
Yeah, and we try to, in my experience, we try to actually, we wanted to make everybody happy to think that, nothing is going to happen, so we actually delegated different roles. Remember I told you our networking guy has a EC2 custom role attached to him, custom policy attached to him, so that he can log into the console, but he can only create IP route tables and subnets and things like that, but he cannot even create an instance. We have a storage guy who has access to the Amazon console, but he can only create volumes and delete volumes and attach volume. Nothing else he can do. We have a Windows administrator who is there who can start and stop instances. That's all he can do. Only we two or three people have complete access to Amazon. So if I am deleting my own stack, then it is a problem. It's not that you're giving the entire company access to the console. So that is how you need to look at it. So
That's good.
Yeah. Is it clear for everybody? So go and look at it, and you can find out, you can play around. There is a lot of templates. This is what Amazon, you can find templates from all these things. I just wanted to show you one more thing here. So EC2 instance, create an Amazon EC2 instance in EC2 security group. Okay. So they are creating this particular stack is going to create an Amazon EC2 security group and an instance. So there is something called as a designer thing. I have never played with it, but I think, if somebody asks me, hey, is it difficult to learn scripting? Yes, probably. If you are not a scripter, and you may want to try this. This is the same script. You can actually do it with this drag and drop, just like Visio. So I have never spent time to do this because I never wanted to do that. I was always using templates, and we have some professional services we get with respect to configuring some required CloudFormation templates. So we always depends on somebody else. But let's say I want to create my own script. So here is an instance. That instance is attached to this security group. If I want to attach another one more instance, so I will go to EC2. I'll go to EC2. I want to attach one more security group to this instance. I can drop that there, and then I will probably I can copy that, or I think I can link. How do I create a link? I'm just I don't know this thing. I never tried. I tried it one couple of times. So you need to basically create a link from here. Let me just move this here. Basically, I wanted to attach another security group here, and then I wanted to have a link.
I think I saw a plus sign when you were hovering over, so maybe go back again.
I couldn't find any videos for this actually. Maybe some videos that explains how to create a
So
link.
you go on the top, I think you should.
Is there a way I can copy this? So this is the ingress traffic, so you can actually, okay, I think, you can do like this. Yeah, you just need to pull this.
What if you drop this security group on the instance?
No, you cannot do that. No, that's not the thing. It is, you need to attach it. Yeah, anyway, so you're getting what I'm saying, right? So you want to attach a public IP address, EIP, elastic IP address to the instance, you can do that. You cannot draw these resources too large to fit in the pane. So do that and then just put an elastic IP address. What is that? Resource is too large to fit in parent. What does that means? Okay. So I can attach that
Yeah.
elastic IP address.
Yeah, I was able to attach two security group with
How,
one EC2.
how did you attach it?
I just I just click on like a purple sign, maybe one purple and one pink, I guess. So just go over to like a pinks, under security group. Yeah, drag it to the, yeah, they're right there. Drag it to this one. Yeah, this is how I did it. So yeah, drag it and yeah, somewhere here.
Yeah,
There
it
we
worked.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now basically we did is we have two security. Now what is the security group properties? If you want to look at that, you can see the metadata here. Depends on conditions. You can specify here. So as you do this, the script is forming. Basically your cloud formation template is actually forming here. As you're doing things. See that all the things are already there, and as you're doing things, you can possibly change the width and height, and if you want you can go and change the details here. Okay, I mean you got to spend time to it, but I'm just trying to show you can do that. So this is how you can actually design. So there is actually a designer view here. So if you go to cloud formation here, this is a design template. You can do that design template right from here. So if you want, you start from here. Nothing is here. So you're going to start something. Okay, I wanted to do a VPC. So let's go and look at EC2. And let's find out a VPC first. So you first wanted to start a VPC. So this is the VPC. You make that VPC little big. And inside the VPC, you want to put a subnet inside that VPC. So I don't know how you, okay, I think it is created now. So you can see that your subnet is created inside that VPC. Right? Okay, so this is your subnet. And now inside the subnet, you can create an instance. Instance needs, so like this you can design it. Basically I'm just trying to show you here. So you can basically design like this if you want, if you really don't know how to do this thing, but I think if you get a good hang of it, you could do that. So this is actually called as the designer, the thing. I wanted to actually learn this so that I don't have to learn this complete scripting. I think it is pretty easy, but if you talk to real Amazon experts, they might look at you and laugh. Oh, you do like that? No, I just can write this script in 2 minutes. Why you want to do all these drag and drops? That's how they will feel it. I'm sure. But if you don't know to do these things correctly, you can definitely do it. It's up to you. Make sense? So you can do undo. There is a lot of options here. You can do undo. You can do a couple of things. And then you can see the mappings and you can see the template is forming right here. So once that is done, I think it is as easy as you can go and export that and then do it the way you want. So you can create a new stack, you can design a template, and then there is another thing called Cloudformer. This is also a thing that I have not really explored, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what is Cloudformer. I don't think anybody uses these things a lot. So you have a VPC, and that VPC has 5 instances and so many security groups and things like that. You already did this manually. Can you export that entire thing into a template and make it as a template so that you can use it tomorrow? That will be a great idea, correct? You getting what I'm saying? We have a class 10 VPC with 5 instances, with IP addresses, with security groups, all that things we did manually in the last 2 weeks. But I want all of that to be incorporated into one single CloudFormation template and keep it. So if something goes wrong, I can roll it back quickly. CloudFormer is something in that sort. You could use it. If you already have an AWS resource running, the CloudFormer tool can create a template from your existing resources. This means you can capture and redeploy applications you already have running. To do this, click Launch CloudFormer and create an AWS CloudFormation stack that runs the CloudFormer tool. After the stack creation is complete, navigate the CloudFormer URL available. I don't know, we'll try that. I never tried this. Okay. So it is going, you have to go to Virginia. Specify an AS URL. I don't know what it is a template. So let's do this. So it is going to create a CloudFormer template first. That is what it is saying. So you need a template to do that. Password. Let's say class 10 VPC selection. I'm going to select new VPC selection. Create a new VPC. What is that? The setting will control the CloudFormer website will launch the default VPC, or if your new VPC is created, or if you wish to launch. Okay. So I'll say create a new VPC. I'm trying this first time. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't think you need to do anything here. So AWS CloudFormer beta version. So this is not fully thing. The template creation prototype application. This tool allows you to create an AWS CloudFormer template from the AWS resource in your account. Warning, this template creates a single EC2 instance in your account. To run the application, you will be billed for the instance at normal EC2 rate. So what it says is, I'm trying first time, believe me guys, okay? It is going to create an instance, and that instance is going to capture all these things, I believe. Okay, and it's going to capture all the things. But which VPC it is going to do? Acknowledge that. Okay, before doing, I go to make, because once I did this, I actually was doing in my office environment. So I had to be 100% clear I am on the correct account. So this is my account only, right? I'm always scared after that mistake. I actually was teaching something and I was doing that in my office environment. So you have to be very careful when you're playing around with CloudFormation. I would say you should try that only in your personal account. Don't try it in your company account. Now remember, this is the mistake I did. I had in one of my browser, I had my company account was open. And in another account, I had this CloudFormation template was teaching, and I accidentally launched a stack. It automatically picked my company's account and went and deleted everything from my account. I mean, it was not a dangerous thing, but you're getting what I'm saying, right? All right, so this is going to AWS Cloudformer beta template creation prototype, and the tool allows you to create an AWS Cloudformation template resource in your account. Warning. What do you think? We'll try this or not?
Yes, I guess.
Let's try it. I just want to make sure I'm on my company, not on my, I'm sure on my personal account, right? All right, let's see, do this.
Or maybe we can create one and then move it to a different.
So let's see what it is doing. I don't know
AZ
what it
node.
is doing. It is probably deploying a new instance. That is what they said. It's going to deploy an instance. No, I don't see anything it is doing. Okay, it is say it couldn't work. It failed for some reason. So why it failed, we don't know. We'll see that. Cloudformer failed. So why it failed events? Haha.
Or maximum number of VPC.
Yeah. So maximum number of VPC has reached. We already have 5 VPCs. Okay. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Okay, I'm not going to spend time on it, but I hope you guys can try that. But I'm still a little interested in understanding what that template is going to do. It's a big script.
So it should give you all the options, right? Which VPC to copy and all that, right?
Yeah, but for that, it first of all, what it says here, it needs to create an instance. So for that, it needs to create a VPC. Either it will, if you don't specify, it will create in your default VPC. In your cases, you may all have a default VPC. It will automatically create in the default VPC. But I selected the option to create a new VPC, and that is where it failed. Otherwise, it could have used its own. This tool allows you to create a cloud. Here it is somewhere. It was saying the setting will control. Where was it? It was this is supposed to create a VPC. That is how I did that. So otherwise it would have worked probably. Anyway, so that's it. So that is interesting. I think they made some new changes to this, but it is in a beta format actually. So I don't know whether it is a good thing to test in production environments. But you need to really understand what it is. Okay, so let's go here. Cloud formation, action, active templates. No, not that. How do we get into that?
You go back to the main page. Yeah, if tags.
Where was that version? Design template? No.
No. Let me go.
Okay, here it is. Create a template from your existing resource. Launch CloudFormer. So I think you may want to learn this CloudFormer a little bit more. So if you already have AWS resource, the CloudFormer tool can create a template from your existing resources. This means you can capture and redeploy applications you already have running. So it may not be going to give you the entire thing, but probably if you have certain applications and all, you can specify it. It will just go and pick and choose. It will pick and choose those applications, maybe a load balancer and 2 instances. It will take that and the security groups and create it. I would like to see this working. If anybody can try this tomorrow and then talk in the next class, that will be great. I am not going to try this now, but you got an idea what it is, right? So CloudFormation is very powerful. Basically, you create a stack, that is, you create your own scripts. You can also design it. And if you already have certain things using CloudFormer, you could actually extract everything in your environment and make a template. And then you can use that to redeploy your applications. Any questions, guys? So I think we'll stop here. So I think this was a good information and a good topic, CloudFormation. So you may want to spend some time to understand it. How to create.
One question I have regarding, when you see deleted, CloudFormation, like whatever you deleted before, they're all showing up in the left, right?
Okay.
So is there any way we can right click and, retrieve them back or something somehow?
I don't know. There is an option to do that. Action. There is. See, this is a deleted.
They cannot, right.
This is a deleted stack, right? So there is no
Yeah,
option to update stack or redeploy that. No.
Okay, that's fine. That would be good, just in case if you delete it by mistake, you can always go back and.
No, that is why that is not that should not be a problem because you have your template with you, correct?
Right.
Always you will have your template with you. So if you have the template with you, then that is equal
to create it again, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So all you need is point to the template file and do it. But if you delete the template file, then it's a problem. That is why you should store your template in S3 or in some of your central file location. You should keep it. So here is the template. So
yeah, but template can get back your instance, but not the data. Data is gone.
That's gone. Correct. Yes, that's what I said. Your data is gone. Everything is gone. Even the IP addresses might change because you're getting dynamic IP addresses and also the impact can be severe in certain cases. In small environments, if you're doing a small 1 or 2 IP addresses or you're doing some security groups or creating something, it should be okay. But if you're talking about a complex script that creates VPC and instances and all that things, it will be a problem. But if you have a CloudFormation template that creates 2 or 3 security groups and you happen to delete it, it's okay. You can always redeploy that, isn't it? But if your CloudFormation template to do a lot of things and if you happen to delete that, then it will be a problem. All right, so I think we'll stop here, guys. So